Okay, recap for Thursday, the 5th of March, 2026. So, I don't know. Today was kind of a weird day, especially how it closed as well. So, I'm not too sure what's going on. Okay, that's all I can say. Did I find it set up into here and there? Yes, but overall, the whole delivery of price is confusing. It's confusing me. It's doing one thing and the other, and then it's like, bro, like, can we stick to one direction for one day, please? I don't know. The market is too manipulated right now. Anyway, let's get to the recap. So, coming to 9:30, my thought process was okay. We have this high, which is London high. We have previous day PM. No, this is Asia, and the PM high as well as relative equal highs, right? So, we pull up this in regular trading. You can see that right there. So I'm thinking, okay, we have a lot of buy side, and we could go down as well, right? To this, and we had also a large opening range gap that we didn't even fill the upper quadrant of, right? So I'm looking at both possibilities, right? And on the hourly, this at the time looked like a market maker buy model that's initially gonna hold this, right? And I'm just waiting. If we're gonna hold this gap, what we're gonna do? We're likely to displace higher, right? Take out the highs, and this would be, I guess, the unicorn, and there's no stopping it to take that high, and then we could go dump on NFP lower. But we don't do any of that, right? So this is what we do. Market open. So PD rates to keep in mind. On the daily, we have this order block, right? And there was two areas that I'm looking at, which is the opening price and the midpoint of it. And on the 4 hour, I'm looking at this inversion fair value gap and its quadrants to hold price, right? I do expect us to wick through this gap. That's my expectation this morning, that we would wick through the gap, visiting this, but closing above and then go higher, right? That's how I expect, and then you know do something else, right? Like expand to this high. That's my thought process, right? So we come in, we hold price, we hold, everything's cool, right? 15-minute, everything's holding, right? This gap is we're closing slightly below it, but this is our main gap that can't be closed below. And you see, we do wick into it there, right? So now let's put a lipstick on the chart and just go down all the way to the lower time frame and see this 9:30 opening, right? Because this was a weird opening, right? We're already at 9:30 with the opening. We already took this low, London low out, right? But what I expected is maybe we could come higher and then come lower to this low. Let me explain why this low. This, right? This is the opening price of the daily order block. This is the inversion fair value gap and the quadrants, and you can see that low. That's what I expected initially. That dump to this, and then we can go higher and midpoint, whatever, and then just the rest. And this is the midpoint at the daily. Regardless, these are worst case scenarios, but I would like price to stay on the upper half of this inversion, and then I'm looking for the liquidity above, right? Relative equal highs, relative equal highs. So three liquidities above, and four actually with this initial buy side liquidity. So we open up and we don't go lower, taking this low out, right? So that made me slightly confused. Then we just shoot up, and clearly at this point, once we make this first percentage fair value gap, I'm looking at it, we go below. I'm not interested about anything because we went that high up that I'm thinking, okay, we just want the longs first, right? We want the buy side, and we've already done enough manipulation by taking this London low, and that's it. But my only mistake is I didn't really pay attention where price stopped. I just let it be. I was like, okay, cool. We want to just hold the 15 or whatever. But normally I do expect price to go to PD raise perfectly or semi perfectly, right? Something like this low, and then it would expand. Anyway, we go up, come down here, touch the first presented. I take a long. I take the long, and my expectations is going above this high and much higher. So I take the long. I meant to take a partial here, but I didn't. I literally even left my stop loss at a loss for some reason. I was that confident in the trade. Like I just left the whole setup, and I come back to stop it, like in stop loss. Weird mistake. Should never do it again. Basically, we learn. But yeah, that's how convicted I was with. Okay, we're definitely going higher. Come back to see that we actually come back and then now dump and then go to that low. Fair enough. This makes sense. However, now we made um a 2022 model by taking this high, right, back to midpoint with the fair value gap, then dumping. I know that we went for the resweep, but we're still holding it. And then on another account, I took this short from here to the lows, right? And to my surprise, I mean, not to my surprise, after this, I knew that this was the target, the lows rather than the highs. But I couldn't understand this weird structure of doing all of this to then that, and then letting the launch run into it. Yeah, I don't know, it didn't make sense. And after closing all the way below that inversion, we actually come back and reclaim it. What is going on? Because my thought process, right, if we're taking this low, we might want to expand even lower, right, for tomorrow. But now we're all the way up at this high. So now my thought was, are we gonna even complete this? You know what? You know what might be funny? Right? I think I'm seeing it now. We are likely. I don't know. I can't tell yet. But I think there's two scenarios for tomorrow, right? Well, the obvious one, we're gonna take these highs and take no, no. There's two ways, right? We might fill this gap or head higher, right? Take this high, and then on top of that, come even lower, right? Take this low out and take this low and close like that, right? Rather than even taking these highs. That could be something for this NFP that they're preparing tomorrow to take these like smooth highs and then also dump it again larger than this range. But the close, right, on top of this volume imbalance is making it questionable. So now that we closed all the way there, if we have no interest of taking any of these lows, then of course we're gonna be high. It's just gonna depend on what NFP does. So I can't tell you exactly until like 8:30 tomorrow what's exactly gonna happen. But I'll be looking to trade it. Anyway, this is the market recap. I can't really tell you, but it's just garbage, right? Yes, there was trades. There was the short, right? If I wasn't too biased on the long, I know I would have seen this short right here, or maybe in the first presented and then taking it lower, or like the lunch trade that I took. There's a lot of setups, but it's just the direction on the high time frame is it's a bit discombobulated. That's all I can say. Anyway, that's the market recap. Peace out.